Welcome back to Blitzkrieg Intel Update number 3. Again, I have the legendary CODS archiver Tac here to discuss the Gorod Krovi Navajo Cipher, Chronorium Excerpt B. So as before, Tac, tell us a little bit about the discovery of the cipher and who solved it and all that.
Yeah, so this was part of the... So it's kind of, every time a map comes out, there's always, people who are just scouring the map, taking images. And so one individual, his name is Tigra on Reddit, he did... pretty much he posted like 3 or 4 at once, and he was just like, alright guys, go ahead and figure these out. And so Water KH, who was on, I believe, our Sophia Cipher episode, he solved this one as well.
Awesome. So the plain text of this cipher is as follows. To allow quick travel between dimensions, the Keepers created the transference device, which is powered by the ether. The Keepers have placed structures throughout the realms. So, Tac, what is the first impression that you get when reading this cipher?
So one thing to point out immediately is that from, I think it was the Sophia Cipher again, we learned that the Chronorium is a book, as opposed to,
right,
like a timeless place or something like that. So this is just plainly an excerpt out of the book. And it's actually pretty straightforward, I think. The transference device that they're referring to is most likely the MPD, the Moon Pyramidal device, as we have quipped. And, the fact that they have placed structures throughout the realms, we also anticipated that based on the fact that there's one on the NaBrZHunter moon, and there's one on the original universe moon. And so we kind of realized there was probably more than we had anticipated. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think that it's a pretty straightforward cipher for the most part. The Keepers created the MPD, and they pretty much just placed several of them throughout the realms, like it says. But one of the things that's interesting is that from the moon radios, when we first learned about the MPD and what it could do and all of that, we learned that it was a Vril device, based on quotes from Richtofen, where he verbatim says, it is an ancient Vril machine, and he thinks that it's a stable gateway to ether. So it kind of seems, not that it was ever in doubt, but the Keepers and the Vril are definitely two sides of the same coin, or perhaps the same entity.
That's a good point. That same quote you referenced, in which he says stable gateway to ether, he says he's found many of the Vril artifacts on the moon, and I think that this is kind of the evidence that we were looking for without Treyarch straight up saying, hey, we've dubbed the Vril, the Keepers or something like that.
Right.
So this is great to see.
Yeah, I think it definitely helped a lot too in NaBrZHunter when the projector images from Dr. Maxis's room.
Exactly.
When there was there was a lot of hints there that the MPD was Keeper related, but we knew it was Vril related. So yeah, it all seems this is just kind of...
It's a smooth transition into the confirmation that we were looking for.
Exactly.
Awesome. It also reminds me of, I believe, was it a Shadows of Evil cipher that talks about beings that can teleport without the aid of a MTD?
Yes. Yeah, so that was NaBrZHunter, but it says, we have discovered that there are beings that can travel between dimensions without the aid of teleporters. And so yeah, it seems like this is exactly what they're referencing. Once you put an MPD in a universe, that's kind of its field of influence, so to speak, and now they can freely come as they wish between the dimensions that have those. So
the true epitome of perfected matter transference devices. Clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty straightforward. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and we'll see you on the next one.